I've written, but I would like to share, but maybe you all know, where actually Mother's Day comes from. It's so important, I think, for us to know how that happened. So in the 16th century, people in the UK would return to their mother church for a service on the 4th Sunday in Lent, which is today. This could be the church they were baptized, their local parish, or sometimes the nearest cathedral. And in later times, Mothering Sunday became a day when domestic servants were given a day off to visit their mother church, usually with their own mothers and other family members. It was often the only time that the whole families could gather together. Since on other days they were prevented by conflicting working hours and servants were not given free days on other occasions. And so children and young people who were given this day off and who could visit their families would pick wild flowers. It's like you going out picking all these daffodils on this way out. And they would go and pick them, and then at the end they would give them to their mothers. And eventually the religious tradition evolved into what we are celebrating today. Mothering Sunday, secular custom of giving gifts to mothers. And by the end of 1920s, Mother's Day had become an established ritual throughout most Europe. And then I stop here. I did discover yesterday, though, that there is even a siblings' day and a grandparents' day, which I never had celebrated. Of course, I didn't even know about it. Should we know all about the Father's Day? So I thought, we have been collecting, haven't we? So there's the last chance of, there is the basket somewhere, I don't know over there. So if you want to have your last collection for 61 to bag these bags, which go then to, Matt will tell you all about it. And so as I just chucked my little sermon out of the window, I just wanted to say, please, there are some hearts over there. Take them home. And that's a reminder that God loves each of us. Doesn't matter if we are mothers or sons or daughters, we are. And we are loved by Him. So if you want to use them as bookmarks or coasters, please take them. If not, I need to put them on my wall at home. So here you go. And what I forgot to say, if you want to find more out about what's happening in Easter, please come and see me, or I put that over there too. So may I please ask Matt Champion. And so Matt, are you ready for this?
I don't know.
I just wanted to say, this lovely man. So some have met him during when we did with Down End the baptism. Yeah, and so he has been a good friend over the 2 years I have started my college. As Matt has driven me so faithfully up and down, haven't you? And we had good conversations, and I just wanted to say thank you for that. And I will really miss you. So maybe we can give him an applause for being so faithful.
I haven't given her the bill yet for the driving, see if she feels that way afterwards. Well, thank you for welcoming me to Emerson Street. It's lovely to be with you. I do recognise some faces from my baptism. So, as Jutta said, I'm a colleague of hers at college, so I'm also training to be a Baptist minister. But I also, my day job is to work at 61, which is the charity in Bristol that supports people leaving prison. So he just asked me to speak a little bit about that side of my life as you have been kindly giving to us. So 61 is a partnership charity. It was formed 10 years ago now. Sorry if the text is a bit small. It was formed basically from a whole range of different charities that were working with people in prison, homeless people, people recovering from addiction, and all of these different charities were working separately and not really talking to each other. So 61 was the coming together basically of all of these different people. And our aim is really, we're a Christian charity, so our aim is to inspire the church and enable the church to respond to this need that's going on in Bristol. Turn myself up as much as I can. Is that all right? Great. And there's a photo there from one of our celebration events, which we do 3 times a year, and they're sort of big parties where. Oh,
Can I put that in front of you? Do you mind?
this.
Then.
Oh yeah, of course. No problem. Is that any better?
No, I've got side problems.
Yes, so this is one of our celebration events, which happens 3 times a year, and they're sort of chances to for people we're supporting, people who come out of prison, and our volunteers from local churches to get together and have a bit of a party, which are lovely events. We can see that we're a very small team, a very small charity. There's only, 7? Actually, there's somebody who hasn't made it onto the slide, so there's 8 of us. But yeah, we're very small, very Bristol based. We don't get any government funding at all, so we're very reliant on funding from churches like yourselves, as well as from grants and from the lottery and places like that. But really, it's the local church in Bristol that keeps us going. So really can't say a big enough thank you to you for all that you've been doing to help us. And this is our mission statement, if you like. So our name 61, it comes from Isaiah 61. The year of the Lord's favour, Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me. You might remember it's the Old Testament text that Jesus quotes right at the start of his ministry. It's kind of his mission statement as well, if you like. He comes to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners. And we see that as the basis of everything that we do to try and support people who've been in prison. So yeah, it's in our name, and we take it pretty seriously as our mission statement. So there's a couple of different ways that we do that, and you just asked that I kind of speak about the whole of our work, but I'll come on to the gift bags later because I know that's been your particular interest. So Mentor Me is our biggest project. This is a one-to-one mentoring scheme where we recruit volunteers from local churches, people like yourselves who've got time and want to give some of that time to people who've been in prison. We give you some training, and then we match you up with somebody, a mentee who's been in prison. And you meet with that person once a week, one-to-one, and help them achieve their goals. So their goals might be to find housing, to find work, to get off substances or alcohol, to improve their mental health. It could be to reconnect with their family. It could just be to stay out of prison again. So whatever their goals are, that's what we help them achieve. And you can see that compared to the national average, we've got 95% reduction in reoffending rates. So that's within the first 2 years after being released. I don't know what the actual national average is, but I think ours is about 2% of the people that we work with go back to prison within 2 years, which is a big reduction. And we really believe that anyone can change, and that it comes down to whether they're motivated enough, and whether they're ready to change. I don't think we can force people to change. It comes down to whether they're ready. Second strand of our work, and the strand that I particularly focus on, is setting up church hubs. So this is where churches like yourselves would have a warm welcoming space, like a coffee morning or something like that, and invite people who've been in prison into that space. And my job is to give you some training and help you think through all the safeguarding so that you can do that well while protecting the people who are already there, but also making sure that that space feels welcoming and safe for the people who've been in prison, people with convictions. So there are currently 4 hubs across the city. Some are for men, some are for women, some are for both. Some are explicitly Christian, there's a Bible study. Some are just kind of food and social time. We've got one that's centred around a positive masculinity course, so men can come and think about what it is to be a man in today's world and how to do that well. And we're currently in discussion with probably 10 plus other churches around the city about setting up new hubs. So that's what I do Monday, Thursday and Friday, is to go and talk to churches about this. And once the hub's been set up, we help them run it. So we refer people into it, we handle the safeguarding, we talk to probation and police so that the church doesn't have to worry about any of that stuff, and they can just get on with running their space. We started as a partnership charity, so partnership between multiple different charities, and we've carried on that way really. We've partnered with anybody who wants to work with us. So the chap on the left there, Rupert, he runs an MBA empowerment course, so this is for people who want to start their own business. He has come up with a really impressive course, and he offers that free in prisons across the country, and he also offers it to people that we're working with once they get out of prison. So if they want to set up their own business, he's produced a tool that helps them to do that. And the guy on the right, Ossian, runs the constructive masculinity course that I mentioned. So he runs that in HMP Bristol, but also outside as well. And there's Ossian again. He's also heavily involved in beekeeping. So I don't know if you know this, but Bristol Prison now has hives. So does Layhill, and I believe Ashfield is going to get some. So they produce, you can buy prison honey if you want to. It's very nice actually. So the guys get involved in that when they're inside, and then it's something they can, they can do a course on beekeeping that they can then use when they're released. But this is the main thing that I was really asked to talk about, and I know that this is what you've been giving to particularly. So most people in prison probably hear of us for the first time on Christmas morning when they get a gift bag from us. And that's the free, so at Christmas, the men in Bristol, Layhill and Ashfield all wake up to a Christmas gift bag, which has chocolate and coffee and socks and toiletries and various other little goodies in. In fact, on my chair there's a gift bag all packed up and ready to go. If you want to pass that round, people want to look at what's in these. So this is an Easter gift bag, which we just do for the women in Eastwood Park at Easter. So this is what your donations are going to produce. And really, this is a way of showing these women that they've not been forgotten about, and that the church in Bristol cares about them. Maybe it's the only thing they'll get given. Maybe they're not in touch with their families, particularly on Mother's Day. Lots of the women in Eastwood Park will be mothers, or they'll all have mothers, but they won't necessarily hear from their children or their parents. So it can be a really difficult time. Getting a gift bag like this can make a huge difference. And in case you can't see it clearly, that's kind of what goes into the bag. So we've got some toiletries, flannel and some shampoo and stuff, chocolates, nice warm socks. It can be quite cold in prison. And an Easter booklet, so some Christian literature about prayer and the Easter message, if you want to engage with that. Some colouring pencils, a mindful colouring activity. A lot of the women really enjoy that. And there's 400 of those little bags currently being packed, getting ready to be packed, and they'll all go into Eastwood Park on Easter week. I'm not sure exactly when. And we also get a handwritten Easter card from a member of the team or from a local church, so that's like a really nice personal touch as well. And we get a lot of feedback from the women and from the men in the prisons. And this is just one quote that we had last year from one of the ladies who received these bags. So you can see what a difference it makes. And particularly, on Mother's Day, this lady separated from her child. It's the first time she's ever been separated from a child, and to find out that someone cares about her makes a big difference. So you've already been helping, so the title of this is wrong, but these bags cost £7 each, actually a little bit more than that I think, and they go up every year because inflation and all of the different components get more expensive, and we try and always put more stuff in as well. So the flannel is new this year because we had some feedback that it's all very well giving shampoo and stuff, but if you don't have a flannel, it's not much use. So we're always listening to feedback and improving the bags, and so the costs increase every year, which means we need to raise more money every year. Thank you for being willing to do that. On Saturday the 21st of March, which is next Saturday, we're going to be packing all of these bags ready to go to Eastwood Park. So if you'd like to come along, our office is in St Agnes in St Paul's. You're very welcome. If you've got a few hours to give and you want to come along and help. It's not particularly difficult work, it's just a case of putting things, assembling those bags, a sort of production line. You'd be really welcome, and that would be a really kind way of helping us get those ready. 400 bags takes a little bit of time if there's only a couple of us, so the more people we have, the quicker it is. So yeah, please do let me know afterwards if you'd be interested in coming and helping with that. And there are ways you can get involved with 61's work more broadly. So the big one is just to pray for us. We couldn't really do what we do without prayer. We pray every week as a team, and we're relying on just as we're relying on the local church for money, we're also relying on you for prayer. There's lots of obstacles to working in prisons, lots of challenges, and we're relying on your prayers to overcome those. We've got some training to be a volunteer mentor coming up in the summer, if you'd like to consider that. You don't need to be an expert, you don't need to know anything at all about criminal justice, because your job is just to listen and to love someone who has been in prison. So if you're interested in that, you'd be really welcome to come on the training. There's no commitment, you're not signing up to anything, and the training is free. If you'd like to consider as a church setting up a hub, I know you don't have your own space, but if you decide that you'd like to consider that, I'd be happy to come and talk to you about how that would involve. And just making us part of your regular giving as well would be a huge, one-off things like this are really, really appreciated. But if you're able to make us part of your calendar of giving, then that's really great as well. And I've put the training dates on there. Prisons Week is also coming up in October. It's a way away yet, but you might want to consider running some events. There's Prisons Week prayer, calendar, and various other things, videos you can watch, resources you can use on your Sunday services that Prisons Week provides. So you might want to have a look at those as well. I think that's it. Thank you very much.